Okay, hi, I'm Alex. I'm a senior and I'm president of GSA.
I'm Ashna. I use she, they pronouns, and I'm a senior and I'm secretary of GSA this year.
I'm Jessica Lee. I'm a senior in Dougherty and my pronouns are she, her.
Hi, I'm Amy. I'm a sophomore and my pronouns are she, hers.
I'm Sarah. I use they, them pronouns and I'm a junior.
Hi, my name is Miss Liz. I'm the advisor of GSA this year, newly this year. I'm very excited.
Hey, so I'm Mr. Pop, and I go by he, him pronouns. I'm not an official advisor of GSA, but I am at every meeting, and pretty much have been since I started here at Dougherty a couple years ago.
I think the best part of GSA is probably like the community that we've built.
I love supporting queer and trans students, and I think that that community really needs a larger community to be a part of.
Being the vice president here at GSA is that I get to outreach and just reach so many kids within the community that I really wouldn't get to see otherwise. And it's really nice, it's almost such a great, happy little community that I get to make around with everybody.
It was always like a very welcoming community, and everyone could just talk about what was going on in their life and know that there was a community of people like them. And it's been so nice to see that this year there's so many more people who will now feel safe in the community that GSA provides.
So for me, I'd probably say my favorite thing about GSA is finding a community. Like, I've always kind of been surrounded by queer friends. It's just that having kind of like a space with just seeing so many people like me is just amazing, because it kind of really reassures me, like, hey, you're not alone. There's a ton of people, you know. It's just kind of nice to get like validation from like other sources when you can't necessarily get it at home. Stuff like that.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people went through some self-discovery over quarantine. So we have a lot more members this year, and just like having so many people around you that you know you can like go to, and you can like, there's just a really big community that you can see in front of your eyes. And I think like that support and that welcoming sense of like community is really great about GSA.
I actually joined GSA last year during quarantine, so for me it was really helpful to have like a safe space to kind of like talk through what I was questioning during the time.
I am really looking forward to being the advisor for GSA and really hoping to bring more allies to come and help support this community. And I just think it's really important for everyone to have this community to build and to grow together, and to know that we're not alone and we're all a little bit weird, and it's great and we should embrace it.
Like kids have said, feel a little bit less alone, but also to sort of try to figure out who they are and what's important to them, and to advance the types of issues that are important to queer and trans kids, like gender-neutral spaces on campus and teacher training for more sensitivity. And that was something that I was a part of when I was in high school. So I really appreciate being able to share my knowledge and my experience with kids.
So over quarantine, like on average, our meetings only had about 12 or 13 people, including officers and gardener, and I think like there was like nearly 40 people or 50 people on our first meeting. It was crazy. It was 80. It was like 90 people. It was a lot of people. That's crazy. Okay, well, my theory is that people were stuck with themselves for so long, they just kind of figured something out over quarantine, you know?
Yeah, no, I can attest to that. That happened to me personally.
Yeah, I mean, like, even if you're already like, yes, I'm queer, it's like quarantine is still like, okay, so like you're queer, but like, are you?
Like you're refining the process.
Deeper into the gay.
I think like in school, like there's more like awareness of the club, because there's like posters everywhere. Like I don't know how like much you guys were like communicating with the students last year.
And I think what also happened is that a lot of students at just being at home with their parents a lot realized how much they were like really suppressing, like a lot of kids.
I literally, just knowing there's a club out, they're just like, freedom, I'm totally going.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was literally out last year, like, over quarantine, and it's just like, I am so glad we are no longer in quarantine.
I think
because it is just so much. Oh, I'm sorry, you go.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay, because it's just like so much easier to just like be yourself at school, right? Like, I mean, I have to change into this at school. I can't wear it out of the house. If my parents see it, no.
So
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think definitely, I wasn't really super active in GSA before this year, but after quarantine, I was like dying to be around other community people and not around my family all the time.
That's definitely
So
fair.
much.
Yeah. It's a nice change of pace for one, because like just being on your own for a long time, you're like, damn, I need someone who will understand my dumb jokes.
I once made a gay joke to my counselor. It took her like a solid minute to get it.
no.
And it was in the middle of a conversation about coming out.
You can't make these jokes around like your straight friends. It's just so awkward because none of them get it.
Or like I'm just sitting there like, what? Okay.
Like I can't make jokes to my like girlfriends about like anything like even romantically related because I don't want them to get the wrong impression.
If you talk to guys though, it's actually a very different story. A lot of people are like males who are very comfortable in either their straight or their non-straight selves are very comfortable with sharing and
like,
in interacting in affectionate
I feel like,
I've seen a lot
they
of
just like
like
don't really care. They're like, whatever, you do you kind of thing, and I
remember
appreciate
hearing, like,
that.
this joke that like straight guys act the gayest, and I've like seen that. It's so true. It's really true. Like you'll see like just guys. They'll be like fooling around, or they'll be like they're doing like discussions in class, and they'll be like, "I love you, bro," and it's like it's just fun to see.
I love your bro, man.
Coming from an actually straight perspective, I'm not within the LGBTQ+ community technically, besides as an ally. Who knows how I got this position? But either way, I found seemingly to have wriggled my way into a very homophobic group of friends. Which in that circle, first of all, some of them are gay. This is a weird situation.
Internalized homophobia.
Yes. But because of that, it's a really interesting perspective where they're very open about being homophobic, but at the same time present as they sort of brush it off in a sort of way. You know?
Yeah.
But then, of course, you guys have a completely different perspective because I look as straight as I seem. So, like, there's interesting niches there to be discovered.
I have the advantages of also being pretty straight passing, I think.
That's a funny phrase.
We think.
I mean, I think I'm pretty straight passing. So, like, I've heard, like, microaggressions, even from, like, those, the guys that we were talking about who are, like, comfortable. Like, even that, like, I remember once on a Discord server, we had a 2-hour argument about some comment on whether it was homophobic or transphobic.
Wait, the super straight thing?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So it's really bad because they're all straight and they're
God.
trying to justify their like opinions that are transphobic, and then they don't listen. When,
I remember that.
And then they said like me and Amy and I were the ones arguing with them, and like they were saying we were biased because we were queer. And I was like,
okay, wait, for the camera, if you are super straight, if you have to make an argument that you are straighter than a straight person for not dating a trans person, that is transphobic. Super straight as an identity is transphobic. It's not valid.
I mean, it's also kind of redundant because you have to be pretty insecure to
About your
be
sexuality,
needing that
so,
label,
yeah, that's
and like it's just really not needed.
Like on a similar vein about transphobia, I finally came out this year as non-binary in all my classes, and I like introduced myself with they them pronouns, and still people who I know heard me are using she her, and they're just they don't seem to care. And it's like I keep telling myself I'm gonna correct them, but in reality it's really hard to correct people when they misgender you.
Yeah, I get that. I recently started using she they pronouns, and so nobody uses they them just because I present female and I have used she her for so long, and also I'm not like fully out yet, so it's like hard to be like, hey, no, today I want you to use they them pronouns and not she her, because they're just gonna like look at you weird. It's it's like an awkward thing to try and correct.
In one of my English classes, they're like, say your pronouns when you're like presenting yourself, when you're introducing. It's like so hard for me because like everyone who went with before me was either he, him, or she, her, And I was like, I didn't want to say my pronouns at that point. So it's like such a weird.
It's a bit, yeah, sometimes the teachers make it a bit more comfortable than it has to be.
Yeah.
At least I had the privilege of never caring about my pronouns. I'm like, here's what I prefer, but I don't really care whichever one you use. And obviously, you can expect most people use she, her pronouns for me, because I present female to outwardly to most people.
That was he, him.
I'm like, people that I don't know, I'm like, whatever, use whatever pronouns you want. They always go with she, her, unless it's like my close friends.
And then we're like, oh yeah, we use he.
Yeah. All right, we gotta go to class. Yeah, we gotta go to class.